Hi all, today we will discuss about all the Kafka interview questions. So that is based on related for a Spring Boot microservices Java with Kafka interview. So here we will consider all the Kafka interview questions for the freshers and experience. So the basic Kafka concept related interview questions, maybe some of the interview will ask what is a Kafka, what all are the primary use cases for the Kafka. Can you give one real scenarios where you use Kafka and how you implemented in your project. So this is the first question which will be asked for the freshers and experience based on the 0 to 10 years of experience. What is a Kafka? What is the primary use case? Where you used? What all are the scenario you used? These things. And the next question is what is a key component of Kafka, such as producer, consumer, brokers, topics, and all are there. So, what all are the main key component and why we are using as a producer, as a consumer, as a brokers? What is these all? So that we have to mention the proper scenarios for this Kafka component. So some of the interviewer will ask what is a Kafka topic and how it is different from queue in messaging queue system. So how what is topic, how we will create a Kafka topic in Kafka, and what is different from the queue in message queuing system. So this is the third questions which will be asked. So these all are related for freshers and experience. So this is the common questions because Kafka we have some limitation or limited questions are there if you are using Kafka for the Spring Boot microservices. And the next question is describe the role of zookeepers in Kafka. So what is the role of zookeepers? When to use zookeepers? Why we are using zookeepers? And then is it necessary? Like is it still necessary in the newer Kafka version also? So suppose right now there is a Kafka version upgrade happened. So in that also is it necessary to use the zookeepers or not? So if yes, then why? And if no, then why? That type of questions. I think in the latest version, zookeeper is not required, but before that zookeeper was there. So we need to check. And then what is the advantage of using Kafka for the real-time data streaming? Why we are using Kafka in real-time data streaming? What is the advantage? So Kafka mostly we use for this asynchronous communications while we using from Java Spring Boot microservices. In that cases, we need to do some asynchronous communication. So that's why we are using Kafka for this real-time processing, real-time data processing. So the some of the interview may ask like producers later interview questions. So uh, how do you create a producer in Kafka? Provide the code examples in your preferred programming language. Suppose if you are using Java, so based on the Java also for the .NET or any other stuff, any other language, if you are working on that or a Spring Boot microservices based the Java, so how you are creating a producers? Can you give me some real example or some code? Provide the code for the Kafka which is used for the producers. And the next question is what are the consideration when selecting a message key for the Kafka producers? What all are the consideration when selecting a message key for the Kafka producers? So that we need to check. This is the also very important questions. And the next question is what is message serialization in Kafka and why it is important? So message serialization is very important in Kafka if you are using. So why for this scenario you need to check this proper answers why we are using for that. So most of the interviewer will ask what is message serializations in Kafka. And the next question is explain the concept of producer's acknowledgement and the different acknowledgement mode in Kafka. What all are the acknowledgement mode is there in the producers using Kafka and all. Some of the questions they ask related for brokers. So what is Kafka brokers? What is the role does it play in Kafka cluster? So that we can check. And the next question is what is data replication handle in Kafka? What all are the advantages of data replications? So data replications using Kafka and all. So discuss the concept of Kafka partitions and their role in parallelism. So what is the Kafka partitions and their role of in parallelism? and some of the questions related for consumers, so that consumers, so we defined based on the topic or some component based questions also. So here consumer related questions will ask like how do you create a consumer in Kafka? Please provide some code examples where you used consumer created a consumer in Kafka based on your preferred language. Suppose if you are using Java, .NET and others, in that cases you provide this consumer classes, how you created and all. And the next question is explain consumer offset and its significant in Kafka. So explain consumer offset and its significant in Kafka. The next question is what all are the consumer group in Kafka and how does it facilitate parallel processing of meshes? Consumer group in Kafka and how does it facilitate parallel processing of meshes? Describe the at least once and at most once delivery guarantee in Kafka. Can we how can we achieve this exactly once semantic? So these all are the very important questions based on freshers and experience. Now we will discuss some Kafka ecosystem interview questions here. So we define different topic based interview questions. So like the first question is what is Kafka Connect and Kafka Stream and how does they extend Kafka capabilities? And the next question is how can we monitor Kafka clusters? So what all are the important Kafka metrics to track this? And the next question is what is the role of a schema registry in Kafka based system? So this is the main important questions for the Kafka ecosystems. Now we will have some of the questions is related for scalability and reliability. So how can you scale a Kafka cluster horizontally? What all are the focus to consider? Explain the Kafka ensure fault tolerance and high availability. And some of the questions related for performance optimizations. So what strategy can you employ to optimize the performance in Kafka producers and consumer? While we create a Kafka producers and consumer, so we need to optimize the performance. So what all are the ways and technique we are using for this? So that type of questions they ask. Some of the questions related for security. How can you secure the Kafka clusters? What authentication and authorization mechanism does Kafka support? And some use cases also they ask provide example of real world use cases where Kafka is suitable technology choice. Give me some examples where Kafka is really necessary to use. And some advanced topic which is considered for experienced candidate depends on the interviewer. Some of time they can ask for the freshers also, but mostly we seen like experienced candidate with they ask what all are the challenges of managing Kafka clusters at a scale. The first question is what all are the challenges of managing Kafka cluster at a scale. And the next question is discuss some of the limitation of Kafka and potential workaround. So these two we have. So these all are the questions which I have collected based on the experience of what all are the interviewers they ask related for Kafka. I collected and then I collaborate all the questions in this. Please let me know what type of video you want for the next so that we will try to collect the interview questions for the particular topic and then we will create a videos for that. Also, if you like it, please do subscribe and like this videos also. Thank you.